Well, Mark Atanasio talked about this during spring training, the summer of fun, family entertainment, full house all 3 days at AmFam Field. And the Brewers do what they do, lose the first 2 games and come back, and everybody's happy and everybody's feeling fun as they win the final game of a series once again. We'll get to all that coming up next, the summer of fun, right here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The good old summer of fun. It was introduced this year. I'll read that from Mark Atanasio coming up here in a little bit. Family fun, entertainment. Brewers drop 2, but again, they all go home happy and they win the final game of the series. Much like the Badger football team. All those years under Barry Alvarez, they'd have a so-so season, but win something like the Holiday Ball. Everybody and all the alumni were happy at the end of the day because they ended the season on a winning note. Family fun at the ballpark. Good to have you along. Chuck Freeman here. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. This episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers, you're going to get $200. Put right in that account right there when you win your first $5 bet. Place a $5 bet. Maybe you liked OKC on Sunday over Denver, minus 8.5. They'll put $200 in your account at FanDuel. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. All right. I went and looked back about what Mark Atanasio was talking about with the old summer of fun. Now, this was back in February, where the media usually quarters Mark Atanasio down at spring training. And he provided this to Bob Nightingale of the USA Today. He told Bob, is it my job to win a World Series, or is it my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together? Well, he's right on with that, isn't he? I mean, he's done that. Good old Mark A. has. Gave out a cribbage board on Saturday. 40,000 people in the house. Brewers lost, but hey, everybody's talking about this cool cribbage board you got. People are happy. True Brewer fans aren't happy. They see through that, but at the end of the day, they give this nice gift away, a cribbage board, and it's on sale for eBay for like $100. People profiting off of that. People are happy. A summer of fun for the Milwaukee Brewers. This is what Mark Atanasio was talking about. Now, just for fun's sake, I went to our good friend AI, not Allen Iverson, but AI, artificial intelligence, and I asked them, what do you mean by summer of fun? I put summer of fun Milwaukee Brewers, and AI comes back and says, the summer of fun is a term used to describe the Milwaukee Brewers' season-long effort to create a fun and engaging environment for fans while also addressing the team's performance on the field. While the team is experiencing a tough season and a low slugging percentage, the summer of fun initiatives include giving away cribbage boards, laser shows, according to some fans and commentators on X. The team is also showcasing new, unique Nike uniforms for select games. That sounds like the summer of fun. Cribbage boards. Bring back the batting helmets. How about bat night? Bring that all back. That just covers up. And it hit me today. Do we have all these cool giveaways, all these real good giveaways? Because the Brewers have some of the best giveaways in baseball. Are all these giveaways just to mask the problem that really happens? And that's the problem that Mark Atanasio does never upgrade this team. In fact, we've been downgraded the last couple of years. We have not been fixed. You could argue we took a step backward in the offseason. It was a dud of an offseason. We sat here on Locked On Brewers, and it was a motionless offseason, except for the Devin Williams trade, Quintana, a few minor deals. The Brewers got worse on paper in the offseason, and right now they're 3 games under the 500 mark at 22-25. It's not horrific, but I said this in my on one of my videos over the weekend. If I was doing voting on like a power poll, these power polls that are coming out, they're usually out on Monday, sometimes Sunday nights. And I look at them. Don't put too much credence in them, but I look at them, see where the Brewers are, just for the heck of it. And I said the Brewers right now would be one of the worst teams in baseball. You get shut out in 4 of 5 games coming into Sunday. Yeah, you're playing like one of the worst teams in baseball. Your offense is terrible. It's bad. Now they rally and got the win on Sunday, but this is what the Brewers do. Lose a couple of games, and then they come back and win on Sunday. Interesting quote from our manager, Pat Murphy, on Saturday night. He kind of referred to the lack of spending, which usually these managers don't do this. But he said, and I don't think he meant to throw darts at Antanasio or his boss. Certainly, Murphy's a company guy. He's not going to do that. Did we spend any money in the offseason? Let's call a spade a spade. Now, he wasn't saying, look at my team out there. We didn't spend any money in the offseason. What do you expect? He wasn't saying that. He went on to say he liked his guys, but he threw that comment in there. We didn't spend a lot of money, which means what he was I think he's trying to say is we didn't go out there and match what the Dodgers and the Yankees did. We didn't spend a lot of money. We didn't go out and buy a bunch of ball players. We have guys that are left over from last year's team, the year before, a team that won 93 games last year. So he was not really, by saying that, he was not really pointing the finger at Antanasio. He's not going to be called in the Antanasio's office. He wasn't on Sunday morning. And Murphy say, well, he asked Murphy, why did you say that? We didn't spend a lot of money. You're not supposed to say those things. No, I think Murphy would just said that. But I bet you if you got Murphy on the side, you and him talking over a beer or whatever, he would say, yeah, we don't spend any money on this team. He probably would say that. And who wouldn't? Right? If you got him off the record, he probably would say that. I mean, it's true. Like he said, let's call a spade a spade. This is what Murphy said, spade a spade. We didn't spend a lot of money in the offseason. Yeah, they didn't. And, as long as they keep doing this pattern here, they're banking on minor league success. Their minor league system has been pretty good. Okay. They're banking on that. They're banking on guys overachieving. And then when they sign a guy like Quintana, that he overperforms his $4.5 million they sign him for. This is the Brewer strategy these days. Okay. And then every once in a while, they go out and sign a Rhys Hoskins. And I think Mark Attanasio, in a way, probably felt a little burned on the Ryan Braun contract. And then, this contract with Christian Yelich. I bet you he says, well, he might go back to his wife and say, or whatever, I went and spent some money. I finally spent some money and look what I got. I didn't get my bargain for my buck with Ryan Braun. I didn't get my bargain for my buck, certainly with Christian Yelich with the 198 he's hitting, right? So when he does spend money, like he did with Hoskins last year, and Hoskins is finally, delivering a little bit this year. When our owner has went out and spent money, it hasn't worked out. So I think he's a little gun shy too. When he does want to spend the money, he wants it to work out. Thank goodness the Churio thing worked out. Maybe that's something he does in the future. Well, he's 1 for 1 in that area. Signing a young guy to a long-term contract extension and buying him out of arbitration. But the summer of fun, I got it figured out. Let's go out and give the fans these beautiful cribbage boards. We're not doing the batting helmets anymore. I don't even think they sell batting helmets anymore. You used to be able to buy every team at one of those novelty stands. Before the novelty stand, this is before that they had the clubhouse shop. This was in the old county stadium days, 30 years ago, maybe more than that. But yeah, let's give away things, vouchers or whatever, and hot dog clubs. The $59 hot dog club, which they're not charging a tax on for anymore. They got you the first night, and then people complained about it, and they took it away. I mean, how did they not fix that the first night, going into that first night? I mean, who dropped the ball on that? And I got an extra, how much, $1,000, couple of $1,000 extra out of the fans that night, paying a needless tax that they didn't have to pay on the hot dog club that they got. So, and they probably should have made it a Bratwurst club too. Anyway, yeah, that's the Brewers' MO. I got to figure it out. And the summer of fun. People went to the ball game today, and let's face it, a lot of Minnesota fans there this weekend as well. And they're not like the Viking fans. It's funny, it's the same group of people, but they're not as bad as the Viking fans when they come to Green Bay. Some of the Twin fans, even though it's the same person, it's not though. Like Bears and Cubs fans are the same people when they come to Green Bay or they come to AmFam Field. Twins and Vikings fans, same person, but different personalities, which I quite don't understand. Viking fan, we can't stand. Twin fans, we're okay with them. Cubs fans and Bear fans, yeah, we can't stand. But they're all basically the same people from Chicago and from Minnesota. But that's partly why you had a full house, because the Twins were on an amazing winning streak too. And the cribbage board, which fans all got. They got something in their hands and saw the Brewers lose 7-0. Those who are Brewer fans out there. Twins fans loved it. I don't know what Twins fans did with the cribbage board. They're probably the people who put it on eBay. All right. So the Brewers are in 6 games out. It was so bad. I was so disgusted Saturday night. And I tell you, I'm one of these guys who checks the standings. I check the standings after every game. I did not check it Friday and Saturday. I did not want to check it because it was painful. And I checked it tonight. We'll talk about it a little bit. The Brewers are 6 games out. That's painful to look at. Almost makes me want to cry. I don't want to get all that over dramatic. But being 6 games behind the Cubs at this point, before Memorial Day, is not good. All right, we come back. Yeah, Twins 13-game winning streak came to an end. Freddie, if I could touch on this real quick, Freddie Peralta, he pitched fine outing. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Again, he couldn't stay in longer than 5 innings because he ran in the 90 pitches. That's what Freddie does. The ace thing we talk about with Freddie, he sometimes, yeah, you look at the numbers, like he'll pitch three hits over 5 innings, but his pitch count is 90. So you got to get him out of there. 1 earned run. But Freddie did his job, as does the pitching staff normally do its job. And yeah, you can say, well, Tobias Myers didn't on Saturday night, but also the Brewers got shut out once again. We'll talk about Tobias Myers coming up next. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Wonderful pistachios. When I go for a run, and I do it 3 or 4 times a week on the treadmill, when I get done, I grab some yogurt and I throw some wonderful pistachios in there, and I'm good to go. Wonderful pistachios. You know what? If you work out, or you're a runner, or you try to stay yourself in shape, you really need protein. We all need protein, and protein is provided in wonderful pistachios. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, over 10% of your daily value. That's a great percentage right there. Plus, they're packed with fiber, better for you unsaturated fats, keeping you fuller longer. You'll love the no shells variety as well. Wonderful pistachios, a complete protein providing all 9 essential amino acids. No shells, the grab and go ease. Whether you're dropping off the kids, going to work, driving around your sales job, you're going to love the grab and go as well. So get a snack and get cracking. Go to their website, wonderfulpistachios.com. You'll see how good these things are for you. Like I do, I put them in yogurt and I am good to go. Learn more, wonderfulpistachios.com, and learn about their nutrition and their protein and what they pack. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. By the way, our podcast, you get it on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your audio podcast. We're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet because of you great Brewers fans out there. You're hanging in there. You're hanging in there. I know we are. It's easy every night to say, I'm done with the Brewers. It is. I can't because I'm the host of this show. But every night I get disgusted. Every night, I don't say every night, but you know how it's been as a Brewers fan for all my life. you watch a game and you get frustrated and you say, oh, I can't watch the game tomorrow night. And there you are at 6:35 or 6:05 or 6 o'clock for the pregame, and you're right back there watching Brewers baseball. It's the way it is. I was so disappointed last night. I was like, God, I went to the game, but I didn't. And there's a lot of fans out there, a lot of Twins fans, good people. But I just I didn't have the fire in me because I was at my season's low after Saturday night's game. It's my season's low. And Tobias Myers had a bad outing on Saturday night. Let's face it, Tobias, it was not good. 3 2/3, 11 hits, 4 runs. The Brewers pitching staff gave up 18 hits, but it was Myers who gave up most of those 11. And it was a season high 18 hits, by the way. After the game, sent to Nashville. He's so bad that the Brewers called up Easton McGee from their AAA. We're calling up guys that we have never heard of before, Easton McGee, and the cries continue to out for, why isn't Jacob Mizorowski on this team? He's throwing 104 miles an hour. But Easton McGee gets his next shot. Tobias Myers, this has been a terrible season for him. All the way from suffering the injury to coming back in his second start and getting pulled after 2 innings because Murphy didn't like the way Myers was attacking hitters. Then Myers gets sent down, and it sounded like Myers was going to get sent down for a long time. And it sounded like he was going to get sent down for a long time. But because of injuries, they called him back up. He pitches a game, and he's terrible on Saturday night. And now they got to send him back down. The Brewers are in need of bodies in this rotation so much. They don't know the rotation ahead of time a lot of times. They have such little confidence in Tobias Myers right now that the pitcher of the year in the organization last year, that they sent him down to AAA to call up the controversial Easton McGee. I don't know. Something's going on with Myers. That team, that the front office or the pitching coach, the pitching coaches or Murphy, there's something going on they don't really like. The rope is really short with Myers. And granted, Saturday night he stunk. That was a terrible performance. But man, it didn't sound like he was going to be on this roster long, except for desperation. But man, it was a bad performance. Tobias Myers. All right, some guys are returning to health. But it sounds like Brandon Woodruff, who threw a bullpen session on Sunday morning before the game, he says it went well, but like 2 or 3 more rehab starts. Woody is going to break the major league record for the most rehab starts ever in baseball history. Because of the ankle, he's going on to make 2 to 3 more rehab starts after ankle tendonitis. So something else must be going on there, that they're being extra cautious with Woody. So 2 to 3, I thought maybe 1 rehab start and he'd be ready to go, but they're talking 2 to 3 more rehab starts for Woody. My goodness. So he's not going to be back till June now. Savali, he's going to make another rehab start on Tuesday. Quintana is going to throw off the mound Tuesday and Friday of this week and hopefully get him back by June as well. Best part of the weekend? Well, the Jackson Chourio catch. He's 0 for 18 at the plate, but he robbed a home run, which would have tied the game in the 8th inning. Would have been a 2-run blast. He got up there and took one away. Chourio says the first time he's ever robbed somebody of a home run. Very cool. He's been terrible at the plate. He's 0 for 18. One thing was odd about Chourio. Friday night, they put him in the 6th spot in the batting order. We move him down. Well, we're just moving him down. We're juggling things around. So he went 0 for 4 and 4 strikeouts. They met with him before the game and said, well, Jackson, we're going to drop you down. And, who would be a fan of it? Nobody's going to say, oh, thank God you're dropping me down. No, you're always disappointed when he gets dropped down, and so is Jackson. So he went 0 for 4, and Murphy says after the game, jokingly, well, I guess Jackson didn't take the demotion down to the 6th spot in the order very well. He went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. And then Saturday and Sunday, he was back in the 2-hole again. So the demotion down to the 6th hole lasted 1 day for Jackson. He went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks, and the Brewers said, we better put him back in the 2nd spot. And that's what it looks like, right? And he still didn't get hit either Saturday or Sunday. But there's a long rope with Jackson, 21 years old, still figuring out the game. I thought he was a little ahead of schedule last year. And, this slide or anything, don't let this take away from anything, how we feel about Jackson's future. He's still going to be great. But, the home run that he snared back, first time in his career that he reached back and took away a home run. How cool was that? So, anyway, that's the way the weekend went. Other than that, I would say Bob Kozlowski singing both the national anthem and the Sunday God Bless America. Recovering from cancer is Bob. He's a friend of this podcast. He works down at Fan Assistance Center. Great American, great Brewers fan, great friend of mine. And Bob Kozlowski, it was great to see him sing both the national anthem and God Bless America, turning around some of that karma that the Brewers have been missing, maybe. I don't know. But Bob Kozlowski, that was the best part of the weekend for me. We come back, we'll talk about the division and look ahead to this bad baseball team. The Orioles are coming in. Yeah, I found a team worse than the Brewers. It's the team the Brewers are playing next. That's next here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. And thank you all you everydayers out there on Locked On Brewers. Thank you for tuning in each and every day. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. Did you take OKC minus the 8.5 on Sunday or go live line? Live line got up there quickly. They were down early against Denver. So live line was like OKC minus 175. You could have jumped on that with FanDuel because FanDuel in-game betting, they have it perfected. Same game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big with FanDuel. And you can get a $200 bonus when your first $5 bet hits. That's if you're new customers. If you're new to FanDuel, you sign up, head to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet, and if it wins, you'll win $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more. And again, take advantage of that, man. $200, especially if you're a small, $200 goes anywhere, but if you're a small bettor, which is fine, $200 for placing a $5 bet and winning it, that's pretty cool. So that'll go a long ways for you. But the live betting, I'll tell you, take advantage of it, especially during these NBA playoffs. You could have got a better price on OKC on Sunday if you waited a few minutes into the game when it was like 14-8 than you would at the start of the game. And then OKC came back and won the game. That's my little secret. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Yeah, the Orioles are coming to town for a first of 3 Monday through Wednesday, two night games, 6:40 starts Monday and Tuesday. And then we got a noon start, a 12:10 start on Wednesday. But this Orioles team, the manager, Brandon Hyde, got fired over the weekend. They're off to a 15-30 start. They're at a 6-game losing skid. Their MO has been getting down early as of late, but the pitching staff has just been brutal. Their pitching staff is absolutely brutal. I mean, no matter who they're throwing out there, sure, they got some talent. Ryan O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, Henderson, their shortstop. They got some guys who can play, but their pitching staff has just been brutal. One of the worst ERAs, maybe the worst ERA in baseball, but they are bad. They are bad. They fired the manager, Brandon Hyde. Last 2 years, the Orioles had busted out in the first round of the playoffs. So Hyde coming in probably had to not only get to the playoffs, but win a playoff series. But he got off to a 15-30 start. About a week and a half ago, I want to say he got a vote of confidence from his GM. And, well, he's looking for a job. He'll probably be another a manager again someday. He's a pretty good manager. But, again, the team, probably the most disappointing team in baseball. Considered the most disappointing team in baseball. They were supposed to contend in the American League East. after making the playoffs the last 2 years, and they are brutal. 11.5 games out of first place. So that'll be on tap for the next 3 days. So the Brewers, I can't say, wow, the Brewers can get fat on these guys, because Brewers are not good enough to get fat on anybody these days. But the Cubs certainly got fat on the White Sox this weekend. White Sox tested them a couple of times like a sparring partner, but then the Cubs ended up rolling and sweeping that 3 games series like a good team does. The Cubs now 28-19, again pushing to go 10 over, double digits over. St. Louis is in second place, 26-21. They're 2 games out. Cincinnati 4.5 games out, and Milwaukee at 22-25, 6 games out. So Cincinnati 4.5 out, St. Louis 2 out. The Brewers sitting in 4th place, but be nice if they got a sweep here. I mean, like the Twins went on a 13-game winning streak. Are the Brewers capable of doing anything close to that right now? I mean, is their offense just so bad that they can't even muster a 3-game winning streak these days? I mean, let's start with that, I guess, right? Instead of we're talking about a 13-game winning streak, let's start with a 3-game winning streak. Quinn Priester. I feel like Quinn Priester is pitching every other day for the Brewers. I mean, I feel like he's made like 16 starts. Is there 2 Quinn Priesters in the starting rotation for the Brewers? But my gosh, he's starting again. Didn't he just pitch? Quinn Priester pitching. Logan Henderson on Tuesday. Chad Patrick on Wednesday. Ironically, 3 guys who were not on the roster to start the season for the Milwaukee Brewers. Priester, Henderson, and Patrick are going. And by the way, a look ahead to the Pirates series. Brewers are in Pittsburgh. Looks like they'll be facing Skeens either Friday or Saturday. In that Pirate rotation. Skeens, one of those days, they'll face him. They'll get him one of those days, probably Friday or Saturday. And that's going to do it for Locked On Brewers. Thank you, everybody, tuning in late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Let's have a great Monday here. Let's get back at it Monday night here. And hopefully we can talk about a winning streak here with the Brewers. Win 2 in a row. Get this thing going a little bit. It's going to do it. Thanks for making us your first listen to every day. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers.